Hi, I'm Ray Williams of OpenImage. I wanted to take you through focus stacking today. It's something which a lot of people are into. If you troll the internet, you'll see there's lots of stuff on focus stacking. Generally speaking, what you're looking at is something like this. So if I'm going to take a picture, what I may want to do, I mean, if you're taking a macro shot, which this is, courtesy of a friend of mine, Jackie, if I was taking, a shot like this, I'd be obviously homing in, or my focus would be homing in on this coin here. The issue I've got, of course, is if I wanted to have all of these coins in the focus, in sharp focus, as well as the background, in fact the whole image in background, in focus, there's a problem attached to that. Obviously it's multiple images. How do you all put that together? That's what I'm going to take you through. Now the end result will look something like this, where you've got multiple images put together using Photoshop as a software, and let's go. So let's take you through it. So I come in here. I'm actually going to open this up into Photoshop just to show you what I'm talking about from a focusing point of view. So effectively what you need is a couple of rules. A, you're going to need to be on a tripod. A macro lens is going to probably give you a little bit more of an acute depth of field and sharp focus. So using a macro lens is not a bad call. Obviously, if you haven't got one, then use a normal lens. But it's going to be very, 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 very sharp, focusing all the way through. First thing I would do is put your camera focus, as in your autofocus, change that into manual focus, so you can manually focus onto each part as you go along. So for instance, what I'll probably end up doing or looking for is to focus, let's get a little brush here, hold on. Right, so there'll be a focus point here. There's going to be one here. So far we're on 2 images, that makes 3. We want that sharp, 4, definitely that bit, 5, maybe something in the middle here, 6, and maybe another one down here. So effectively what you're looking at the moment is, what, 7 images to make 1, but the whole result obviously at the end of the day is that everything's going to be nice and sharp, if that makes sense. Alright, so let's wander through the process of this. So assuming you've gone off and you've put this on a tripod and move your focus points around. Remember, you're not doing anything else, you're leaving the aperture and speed and everything else the same, but you're just moving the focus points around the screen without moving the camera. So this is where the intricacy comes in. You're just going to be very, very careful not to move the camera. So let me get rid of this and then we'll come into it. So from an images point of view, what I'm going to do, these are my images already taken. They're taken in all in RAW, as you can see here. Now on a Canon especially, Canon 7D Mark II I think it is, or 5D Mark II rather. I think what you effectively can do is you move your aperture, your speed around, the aperture moves, hence the reason of the difference in color there. That's not really part of what I'm worried about here. It's all about getting everything in focus. So at the moment you're looking at 10 images, and we're going to put all 10 images into the one. So for the very first thing I would do is highlight all 10, or in fact no, better still, go to Photoshop. I'll get there in a second. Go to Photoshop and go File, Scripts, Load into Stack. So what you're wanting is all of the images to come into a layered one image and stack up. Nothing else, just stack in. So what I need to do is obviously tell it where I've got it. So I'm going to go off and find my folder. It knows it's somewhere in here, like a stack, and raw shots are sitting in here. Right, so here we go. These are the images we're going to pull in. That's all of them, all 10 of them, and say open. So what it basically does is puts all of them in a line there. I'm going to ask it to attempt to align everything. Remember, it's the one shot. If I did touch the tripod, it won't take these shots in any shape or form. This is what would align it, hopefully. and then from here I'll ask it to go forth and do it. Right, so at this point it's brought in all the images, and now it's attempting to align as I asked it to align the content when it finishes bringing in the images. This whole process, could take about a minute or so, depending on, again, how powerful your computer is. Once done, though, it will align the images, put everything in it. All the images come into layers, and it'll create 10 layers, all sitting on top of each other in a sequential manner. Okay, and once complete, this is what it looks like effectively. Forget about the image up here, but look at the stack. So the stack is in the order it was shot, as you can see, 31, 32, and so on, all the way through. And it's aligned it, and that's the reason why you've got these lines going around the outside. So there was a slight movement of when we touched the shutters and changing the focus points when shots was being taken. But that will get ironed out, so I'm going to sort that out a bit later on. So the next bit is to then highlight all the images, all the layers rather, in the image, because we need to get the best focus of each one of those and bring that to the fore. So here we go. So from there you're then going to edit, auto blend. So what we're asking the system to do is to look at the focus points of each of the layers and bring that to the fore. And it goes off and does it like this. So at this point, obviously it's not a panorama, you're stacking the image and you want a seamless tones and colors, and go okay, off it goes. Okay, so here we go, it has now done the job, and as you can see the final result looks fabulous. Look at that. So basically what it's done, as you can see here, is it's gone through and masked all the areas which you consider to be sharp and just left that forward, and hence the reason why you look at the final image here and everything is lovely and sharp. It's also tidied up the edges as well, as you can see. At this point then all that's left to be done is to collapse these or merge them all, which is a Control or Command E, which effectively will then flatten these. And once flattened, there you are, you have your image. You save your image as whatever it is you're going to do with it, crop it, and so on and so forth. But isn't that a fabulous result? So coming back to what we looked at, let's have a look at this. So that's my raw images, and I'll just run back through this again just to make sure that we all got it. So effectively what you've got an image, a set of images which you started off with, and what you effectively did was you would have put your focus point here, 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 all over the place, taking images as you go along. I used 10 images to make that one that you just saw, but effectively you could have used 8 or maybe even 12, depending on how much, or you could even go more than that if the image itself is full of lovely little things like flowers and so on. You want to make sure it's in sharp focus right the way across. You could take 20 images. Obviously it's going to be a longer process, but you just got to be prepared for that. And the end result, like I said, is that everything is nice and sharp. Hope this all works out for you. Please give me a comment or two to tell me if it worked for you. I'm Ray Williams, OpenImage. See you next time.